Hi everybody, Gary Heydrich here with your weekly fishing report. And wow, what a week we had last week. Pretty raunchy out, wasn't it? Pretty nasty. But it looks better this week. In fact, it's going to be excellent. Today's excellent. This weekend's going to be great. Monday, it's going to be 80 degrees. Woo-wee. Then got another cool front coming back. I think Tuesday or Wednesday, but it's not going to be near as bad as last week, that's for sure. Got a lot to talk about on today's program. First of all, Wednesday, the 15th, was the opening of the paddlefish season here in Missouri. And of course, Table Rock Lake is right in the midst of it because, boy, they catch some big fish up there this time of the year. So the season started, and I want to tease you guys going out for the upcoming weekend. How about Andy Belichick? He was fishing last year in March, this time of the year. His first time he ever went on a paddlefish fishing trip. Take a look at this. He caught a monster state record, 140 pounds, 9 ounces, state record, huge monster fish. The first time he ever went out after these rascals. And this year, the Missouri Department of Conservation wants to tell you that they have some tagged fish out there right now. They're tagged. If you catch a tagged fish, you get a real nice t-shirt. Then you get your name in the pot, maybe win $500. So paddlefish season on its way, kids. All right. You know, since the water temperature dropped, Table Rock and Bull Shoals, it's hovering around 52 degrees right now. But the week before, it really climbed, 55, 56, 57 in some areas by mid-afternoon. But it has dropped until the bite has been a little off, but they still caught some fish last week out at Table Rock. You know, when it gets tough, well, I like Table Rock and Bull Shoals on a jerk bait, stick bait bite. After a cold front, I like this Model A, this Bomber Long A. It's gold, and I tell you what, I'm from the old school. I'm an old geezer, but I've had these for years, and when it's tough, you just pull yourself out of a Bomber Long A in that gold glassy finish. I promise you, you're going to catch some fish. Well, this weekend's going to be good at Table Rock, weather-wise, so I'd recommend a stick bait, a jerk bait, and try your favorite ones out. I'd get in at 10, 12, 14 feet of water. Since that water temperature's cold, cool down, you may want to, slow your twitch down a little bit. Kind of pause in between your twitches. Who knows, but that's what I try anyway. If that doesn't work, you can speed it up. Other things happening on Table Rock and Bull Shoals. Points, secondary points, your rock crawler crankbaits and the crawdad pattern's been working. Also, of course, just a variety of baits, crawdads, patterns have been working, I should say. So try this, slow your retrieve down a little bit. Off-colored water, a few spinnerbait fish are being caught at Bull Shoals back into the coves and pockets, and especially not off-colored water. And back to the wigglewort bite or the rock crawler bite, the crankbait bite, especially if you have some wind, a little bit of wind up on that points and secondary points, you should catch some fish. And they're still catching fish out in deep water. So your good electronics, get out there and search around. If you're not having a shallow water bite, get back into halfway back into the big coves and pockets and creek areas. Search around, try to find those big schools of shad. And if you do, there's some fish in there. Still go with the spoon. You can catch some fish on spoons. A white half-ounce spoon works for me. It will work for you. And also grubs. Boy, the grub fishing has really picked up this last couple of weeks. I've been fishing the grubs all winter. I love to grub fish. I'll either vertically fish them right on top of the schools of shad or right in the middle of the schools, or I love to pitch them out this time of the year. Slow roll it. I love the 1/4 ounce jig head, about a 4-inch tail. I like that smoke with the red flakes. And of course, salt and pepper has been working good as well. So don't overlook that grub bite on Table Rock and Bull Shoals for the upcoming weekend. It's going to work. Other than that, we've had some white bass reports up on Table Rock and the James. It's slowed down a little bit. Some of the boys have been trolling small medium-sized crankbaits, picking up some whites. They've been using some, like I mentioned the last couple of weeks, use a little horse head like a Blakemore Roadrunner, maybe a 1/4 ounce, and attach a minnow to it if it's real slow. And just slow troll it, or even use your electric trolling motor. and slow trolling. This will pay off for you. Don't overlook the swim baits at Table Rock and Bull Shoals as well. That is working. Okay, crappie fishing. You know, Jimmy Houston, my old buddy, years ago, we were on a fishing trip. A big cold front come through in a couple of days. It was kind of cold and miserable. He told me the old trick his dad taught him, Jack Houston. He was an old guide on 10 killer. Go to the pink or the red after a cold front. I said, and he said, no kidding, watch us today. So we've been catching some fish on chartreuse. They wouldn't touch the chartreuse. We went to a red head or a pink head and a pink body jig. I think we were using marabou back then, and we would catch fish where we wouldn't have if we didn't change colors. Another thing, old trick of mine, I like to put these plastic bodies on my jig heads, and I will just take a drop of super glue, and I tell you what, just a drop's all it takes, and that will secure that little bait from staying right next to the head. It won't be sliding up on you, sliding off on you. So try that. I tell you what, Taneycomb was picked up this last week because the cold weather don't bother the trout. Trout like cold weather, it's not going to bother them. So they've been picking up some fish on small spinners. I talked to a guy at the boat ramp the other day that took out, it was slow, he took out an old beetle spin. You remember the beetle spin? Well, if you're old like me, you'll remember it. Small spinner, and put a little power egg on it. I think he said pink. Pitched it out, let it drop, and then slow rolled that beetle spin back in. He caught 3 or 4 real quick fish where it would have been a real bad day. So don't overlook small spinners at Taneycomb for trout. Also, they've been drifting some power baits. It seems like your white or your pink and white combination's been worked. And power worms have been good. Pink power worms, white power worms. So Taneycomb, they're picking up some fish. It's been a little bit better for the last few days. In leaving you guys, I do want to talk a little bit about a big trout fishing tournament that's going to be coming up here on Saturday, March 8th. It's going to be at Lily's Landing, and it's going to be starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's $25 per man. And I think you can get 3 or 4 buddies in a boat and go fishing. It's only $25 a person. It's for a great cause, the Christian County Ministries. That's a Branson and Forsyth mobile food outreach. And boy, what a good cause. $25, help a good cause, go out and fish. Hey, you can't beat it. Lily's Landing, Saturday, April 8th. And after the tournament at 2 o'clock, after the weigh-in, you get a free lunch. Can't beat that. Hey guys, look, things are looking good for the next few days. We got a great weekend, warm on Monday. It's going to be a little cooler midweek, but it's going to be good fishing. And finally, let's have some fun. If you have any fishing photos or any questions, hey, send them along to us. We're at fishingchums@gmail.com. We'll show your pictures and answer your questions. Also, subscribe, guys, subscribe. Tell your friends about our fun show. We got a lot of good stuff coming your way. Have yourself a great weekend. Go out and get bit.